All right. We're going to get into this segment. We're going to call this shit the draft. Okay? Now, you got all these different sports drafts, so I don't have to explain what a draft is. But in this occasion, we're going to be talking about our draft picks. Not necessarily the draft process, because that's a whole nother topic. We'll talk about that later. We're just talking about draft picks and the the value behind the draft picks, you know, and the consequences of picking too high or waiting and missing out on prospects. All right. So, for one, unless you traded away your first round pick, which is a possibility, you can trade that motherfucker away now. There's ways to trade them, but if you should not have. You shouldn't have unless basically you done stole somebody else's damn player and you done gave them your draft pick. It's too complicated to try to explain in this segment. So I'm just going to not act like I just said that, but continue on. Anyways, on your first round pick, you got, capital invested into that pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever you got on your first round pick, like, that's who your number one prospect is. Like, that's your key builder for this year. That's who you really want to, like, make stuff work. That's your number one prospect. You got your second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, whatever. And those picks, they may be a diamond in the rough. You just don't even know. It might just be something that you didn't even know, but they at first glance, they just wasn't that top pick. It may not be a position you needed or whatever the case may be. But the whole purpose of this video is to explain how important that draft capital is. So, your first round pick should be your number one prospect. And this is the generational player, somebody that you know, damn, she got everything. She got the look, she got the brain, she got the personality, she got the ambition, she got it all together, everything that your qualifications come down to be. This is what she has in store for you. And you're like, well, I need to use my first on this. I gotta get this ASAP. All right, boom. So you gotta take that leap out and go and get that number one player. But in getting that number one player, you have to be realistic about this. That this is just a draft prospect, and it's just a prospect. This is not a full-time starter yet. This is not the franchise player. None of that. It's a draft prospect, the number one prospect, but just a draft prospect. And you must treat it as such. So in your draft prospect, you need to take shit slow that first year. You need to be encouraging and being helpful and, building that, original foundation, for the team building. Because this prospect needs to know that the team is for the prospect, and you need to know the prospect is for the team. You don't want, R.I.P. Kobe, but you see how Kobe stayed the whole way? I mean, he kind of got pushed in over there, but he never left. That's what you need at your prospect. You need a prospect that's gonna be there. Me and my little cousin was talking about it. You need a damn what's his name from the Spurs. What's his damn now? I can't even think of his name now. Tim Duncan. You need a Tim Duncan, man. Drafted, stayed in, retired out. You can't get a better prospect than that. But you also have to be realistic that every prospect is not gonna work out. It's not. It's like part of the numbers game. So while you may have invested your number one pick on this number one prospect, and it's supposed to be the generational talent that you need for your team, it may not work out, and it's not a bad thing. You just in order to assess the situation properly, you have to do your due diligence initially in finding out if this is a prospect or not. Once you find out that this is a prospect, then you need to recruit, invest, draft, nurture, and continue in due diligence. That means that even after the draft is over with, this person still has to show the qualities that's embedded in this number one pick. It's like 3 months down the line, it can't be a bust yet. It's like you ain't even had time to try it out. So that's part of taking it slow. It's like, if you was to take it fast in this whole drafting process, you will end up getting this number one contender, number one prospect, putting them in the starter's role immediately, and they may fail off of being blind and young into the situation. And just off of that alone, you'll feel like this prospect is a failure, but in reality, you rushed the situation. It's really your fault. So it's better to find these prospects, draft them in the order in which you feel like is necessary, and play your position, as GM, until these players revealed they true damn they true damn status, they true stats. Like, okay, this gonna be a superstar, it's gonna be an X Factor. Okay, I ain't know that. I drafted them just knowing that they was all right, but damn, they all right. So yeah, the draft is important. It's highly important. There's no team without a draft. There's no team without free agency. So we can get into free agency later, but the draft is extremely important, because this is when you get to pick and choose who you want on your team. Free agency is like, you got to put out offers. See, the draft is more for y'all young boys. Y'all, when y'all young, y'all, settling down in high school and finding your college mates and all the rest of that stuff. Like, that's when you are spending these draft picks. The dating field, when you become a young professional and you older and everything else, is a little bit more delicate, because now you're in free agency and now you got to offer some of these talents, some required payment, and they may not accept, or they may want more, and all of that. So it's like, it's best for you to pick a prospect and build from there, rather than trying to hire off the streets, because these streets is not lovely in any kind of way. But I just want to go and drop that on there, the draft process, and not even the process, just speak on the draft. We'll just call this the draft info, because there's so much shit with this draft. There's like, we got to go over scouting. We got to go over damn draft process skills. We got to go through the 40 times and everything. So just know that this is a long-term part of, and we'll just do this as the draft intro.